First, Mia says, how you know I don't have $100 million now? Nicki says, I know you don't. She says, I know for a fact you do not. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Comfort. Thank you so much for being with me today. Alright, today guys, we have another reality recap, guys. Welcome to my new subscribers. Welcome back to the family. Appreciate you guys for joining me today on my side of the YouTube. So today guys, I'm actually bringing you a recap as promised of the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion, y'all. Now, I actually decided that it might be more entertaining to do the recap of the part 4 of the reunion with Nicki Minaj, y'all. And when I tell y'all this reunion, it was great. I mean, it gave me what I needed it to give me. I, like most people, thought Nicki was joking. Sis was not joking. She was really there. She really knew. She watched fully, had like history of the show and knew, you know, everybody's kind of character flaws and plots and the whole thing. And she asked questions people wanted to ask, kind of shady and ridiculous and hilarious. And just like, I felt like she asked more like a normal person watching the show. Like, you know, sometimes Andy asks a little like interviewer questions, you know, interview questions, but Nicki didn't have any qualms about, you know, being on one person's side or even giving a little bit extra advice as a black woman, you know, kind of understanding their plight. I loved it. It was great. Okay, so we're gonna get into that. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe for more recaps. I also do the challenge on MTV. We are in episode 17 right now, so we're moving right along in the season. And also I do reaction videos and also comment on different media hot topics that plague the black community, African community, and everything in between. All right, so you guys stay tuned for more of that. Hit the post notification bell so you'll be notified when I post a new video. All right, so we're gonna get started, y'all. So first out the gate, right, Nicki's sitting down, and so first she asked Ashley, like, Ashley, now I love seeing you with your son, girl, and you know, it was great, but I felt like you kind of really didn't have a storyline. Now, y'all, a little bit of background on Ashley. Ashley stays in somebody's business. If you watch Potomac, she stays saying stuff that she has no business saying. She stays trying to embarrass somebody and then acting like, oh, what? Everyone doesn't do this? No, everybody doesn't do it. Everyone doesn't do that. Everyone just doesn't gossip about everybody. Everyone just doesn't feel the need to pry into people's lives, especially close or not close, friends or not friends. She just does that. She's just that kind of person, which is why I have never seen it for Ashley, to be very sincere, but whatever. So then Nicki basically asked her, because you didn't have a storyline, is that why you took your breast milk over to Wendy and was bringing back and forth the tea that Giselle was telling you about her husband Eddie allegedly having some kind of cheating allegations online? Like, is that the reason why, right? Because it seemed like you didn't have a storyline. Like, that's basically what Nicki was saying. And Ashley was like, no, Nicki, no. I've been on this for 6 seasons, so it's not like I don't have some type of, you know, history and rapport. And she said, child, you didn't lug your breast milk over there so that you could be Missy, child, like so you could be Giselle's little sidekick. And she's like, no. And Wendy says, well, she didn't really feel like Ashley was being malicious about it, that she just was more upset at Giselle because she felt like Giselle was being malicious. And Nicki was like, girl, you not upset that even though Giselle stabbed you in the back, Ashley stabbed you in the front? She's like, how did I stab her in the front? How did I stab her? And then Ashley basically says that she just felt like it was strange that she had been gone and now she's back, and she's used to them basically being messy and throwing stuff in each other's faces and being disrespectful, and that she was confused as to why they weren't doing that and they weren't like bringing it out, why nobody had addressed it to Wendy. So that's why she addressed Wendy. And I just feel like that's some BS. I'm also not a housewife. Like, I guess that's somewhere in their contract or something, because the way that some of these girls, especially Ashley mainly, who just feel the need to, like, they feel like they're entitled to know what's going on in your life. Like the way that she used to come at Grand Dame, the way that she used to just try to expose people's lives. Monique at the time, when she was like, yeah, you were drinking and so. Like, it's just very like, girl, you're not, her intentions are not pure. I'm sorry, Ashley's intentions are not pure. She's one of those girls that is shady for no reason. She's shady unprovoked. She just asks questions that have nothing to do with her when her life is a disaster and a catastrophe majority of the time, but whatever. So next, Nicki asked Robin, she's like, Robin, you know, I noticed that you and Juan are having a lot of sexy energy this year. I don't know if it's because, you know, maybe there's not a lot of pressure financially now. You making your own bag. He don't have a lot of pressure on him. So, you know, he's able to real sexual energy, blah, 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 right? And she said, Robin says that she feels like because he was always in the spotlight because he was a professional athlete, that now it's kind of dope for him to see her on TV and to see her like in her bag doing her thing, and that's probably really attractive to him, and that the kids were in the house, so they had to find creative ways to do stuff. So that's probably why it kind of came off like that as well, right? And Nicki's like, I could see that. I could really see that, right? Then what else did she say, Chad? So then she asked Robin that, well, then she mentions that she never paid attention to the things that people say about Robin always following Giselle around and being her lapdog or whatever. She said until this past season when Robin asked Giselle, are we mad at Ashley, right? For anything, like basically implying that Giselle should tell her who she needs to be mad at. And she's like, Nicki was like, why would a grown woman ask another grown woman who, or what, need her permission to know that who she needs to be mad at? And Robin was like, well, I was just asking her if the collective is mad at her. Like it wasn't just about Giselle, it was about everybody. And Nicki was like, girl, I feel like I understand what you're saying, but those words don't need to be coming out of your mouth, especially because of the way people be calling you her lapdog. And then Robin was like, I was drunk, Nicki, come on now, I was drunk. And she was like, girl, I know that you was drunk, because y'all know how she did that in the season, talking about touching her stuff and stuff. Yes, girl, it was a mess. So then, y'all, Nicki moves to, then she moves to ask Giselle that she always thinks it's so funny when people say that Giselle and Robin are secret lovers, right? And that she just, you know, wants to allow them to say that, no, we're not secret lovers. And Nicki asked, so what is your type as far as females? And Giselle was like, girl, and she said, if you were offered $50 billion to be with a woman, who would that be? She's like, who would that be, right? And Giselle is like, oh, it would be Robin. It would be Robin, for sure. If we get 50 million, that we for sure gonna do that. We for sure gonna do that. And she was like, ooh. And then Robin, Robin tried to chime in, and Nicki was like, oh, she trying to protect her girlfriend, child. She trying to protect her girlfriend, right? And then she asked Robin, and Robin is like, you, Nicki, it would be you, Nicki. And she's like, girl, is that the safe answer so your girl won't get mad at you? Like, just being funny and shady, right? And then Nicki is like, don't tempt me, Miss Robin, because you look very good. You look real good or whatever. Giselle is like, yeah, it'll be a threesome. It'll be me, Robin, and Ashley would join in. And Candace is like, and I would also insert myself. Like, just for no reason. Just what? Unprovoked, uncalled for, but whatever. Right? So then she asked Robin if she thinks that Michael Darby, who's Ashley's husband, thinks Juan, who's her husband-to-be, is attractive, right? And Robin says, well, yes, because Michael has said, and I mean, I'm not gonna say what I think someone's sexuality is, but there's just a lot of evidence about Michael that he enjoys flirting with men, and he's made sexual advances at men, and he's with Ashley. So I think it can be safe to be assumed that he's at the very least very free sexually. Let's just say that, right? So it's not like an impossibility. So then y'all, and she says that, you know, because Michael has said that Juan is, you know, he's an attractive guy. And then Nicki's like, and he said he would suck his, right? I forgot about that. What is wrong with Michael Darby? Listen, girl, I don't know. I think Ashley tried to say it's the Australia of it all. Like, we just joke like that. I don't know about that now. Like, I don't know. I ain't never heard Thora joke like that, but whatever. Then Nicki is like, so I find it interesting that they still text and they're still friends. Like, you don't feel uneasy about that? And she's like, no, because I think that he just doesn't want to give it light. That he just took it as a joke and he just doesn't want to give it attention like we're giving it now. And Nicki's like, no, I'm just saying, if a woman told your man that she finds him attractive and she wants to suck his, and then they're texting and they're friendly, like, you wouldn't find that to be odd and very uneasy and very uncomfortable? And they're like, I would find that if I said I want to suck her. Like, she keeps going. I'm like, She's like, I would find it uneasy. And she said she's not saying it's a bad thing, but she just thinks it is unusual for a straight man, especially a straight black man, to still be really close friends with somebody who has made those kind of sexual advances at him, or even said that, right, aloud. And she says because a lot of straight men, and she said it's not right, that it's not fair because of, you know, LGBT community, the LGBTQIA plus community. She doesn't say QIA plus, but that's what she means, I'm assuming, already has to go through so much marginalization and attacks just because of who they find attractive, right? And she's just saying that she just knows it's not common. Then she says, does Juan have any other gay male friends, right? And Ashley's like, other? She's like, but Michael's not gay. And she's like, oh yeah. And she's like, yeah, you said other. So it's like implying that Michael is is a gay male. And does he have any other ones like Michael, who's not gay? And Nicki's like, yeah, you're right. I didn't mean to imply that your husband is gay. Yeah, I can't say other because yeah. And I think Robin says no. Michael is the only one who is sexually free that he has as a friend, right? So then she speaks to Giselle, right? First she says that, you know, she loves how Giselle is with her daughters and that she thinks it's like a completely different side to her. And I will agree that I think Giselle is like the shadiest one on the show. Maybe Ashley. But yeah, like Giselle can be very, very shady for no reason, like to a ridiculous standpoint, to a point where I just feel like she does it for TV. But with her daughter, she is totally different. And Nicki said that, and I totally agree. And she asked her that, you know, that you're a very gorgeous and stunning woman. And she says, yes, I am. Didn't love her wig on this reunion. I mean, Giselle's not great with fashion, but she's very beautiful. So doesn't really, regardless of what she does, she always looks beautiful because she's just beautiful. But yeah, we can work on the fashion sometimes. And she says that, but you do look different than you did season 1, right? I guess Giselle had made a comment season 1 that men cross the street to come and look at me because, you know, basically that they're intimidated by my beauty and they just are like so drawn to me, you know, like understandable, probably true. And she says that, do you feel like even because you look different, do you feel like your beauty has faded in any way? And Giselle's like, oh. And Nicki says, I'm only saying that because when you were having the conversation with Ray, that you, I guess season 1, and Ray was basically giving her the advice that once you get older, you're not going to want to be alone and that you need to basically settle down and marry because these looks aren't going to be there forever. Essentially, that was kind of the point he was trying to make. And so then Giselle made the comment, he'll be 6 feet under before her beauty fades, right? And so Nicki was like, yeah, I feel like that was wrong. She said, but did that hurt you? And Nicki said, yeah. And Giselle said, yes. And Nicki was like, I felt like it did. And she said that a lot of times people feel like because she said somebody who can really sling insults, but I call Giselle shady. I don't think she just slings insults. A shady person, people think that you can't also have your feelings hurt, right? And she can't. And she said, yes, that is true. And I should have told him that my feelings were hurt by that instead of saying that he should be dead, basically. And Karen was like, girl, you asked him his opinion though. That's why he gave you the opinion. It was not a provoked. He asked you the opinion. So then Nicki asked Giselle, why you always pick on Karen's age? Like, why you always go at Karen's age? And Giselle says, no, I don't. And Nicki's like, girl, we must be watching a different show because the show that we watch, you be going at her age. And she absolutely comes for Karen's age all the time. That is her go-to, even though her and Karen are clearly not far in age. And Karen says, well, she needs to be happy. She's going to be my age soon. Karen says she's 58 and that, you know, she's very proud of that and that she's a beautiful woman. And Giselle wished she looked like her at 58 or older. Robin says, but Karen, you look very different than you did season 1 to season now. You look older season 1 than you do now. I'm just saying. And she's not lying. She's not lying. Karen season 1 was not Karen right now. Karen is like beautiful, absolutely stunning, flawless right now. In season 1, you know, everybody's coming into it trying to find their footing, right? And Karen is like, yeah, I upgraded. And then so Nicki asked her, how old, Robin, do you think she looks season 1? And Robin said she looks like she was in her 60s. And she says, and now she's saying she looks like she's like 52. And Candace said, I would say under 50, right? And she looks great. Karen looks great. Then she asked Giselle if Giselle would have sincerely given Jamal a second chance had it not been for the pandemic and all of the reasons that they gave for them not being able to make it work, right? And Giselle said absolutely 100% without a question, right? Nicki asked, so I've always found it strange that why hadn't, after all the time that you guys had divorced, why hadn't he been trying to get back with you before you got on television? Why was it after you got on TV and started to get your bag that now he wanted to be with you? And Karen was over there doing. Good question. Right. So then Giselle is like, well, she felt like her having her own money and her being set and on TV kind of put them on equal footing, because when they were together, she was in his shadow. And Nicki asked, were you in his pockets? And she said, absolutely. I was not working and he was taking care of me. Like, I was in his pockets for sure. And Nicki said, well, rightfully so, because you had his children and you had been with him. And Giselle says that exactly. And he didn't take any money from his church. And that's not the money we were using. We made money off of his books, and that she helped him build his church from the ground up. That when they first started, it was 40 members and them in that church, right? So I didn't know that. I mean, I could assume that, because like I think I could have assumed that. Really? Dang. And she said, so it was 40 members. So where's it gotten to now? And she said it's about 15,000. Y'all, 15,000. Nicki said, damn, no wonder you got a Gucci car. And she says the Gucci car is not expensive, child, right? So then they asked Karen about the Giselle hotbox comment, right? And saying that when you were telling her this ain't what you wanted, you made a comment, what did you mean about the hotbox? And Karen basically says that was the word on the street, that Giselle had a hotbox. If y'all don't know what a hotbox is is basically a woman who is promiscuous, essentially. Like, is like she's hot. Like, it's kind of saying she's in heat, right? Like, basically that's what hotbox means. That's my definition of it. A hotbox. That's what I feel like people are referring to when they say hotbox. Like, you're around, you're on fire, you're in heat, you're like, right? So she said that just been a word on the street, and that she feels bad that Giselle even took her to that place. But Giselle is the one that started it, and she told her to say what she wanted, and she got what she didn't want, right? Then Nicki asked, did she really not know what teabagging and salad tossing was? She said, girl, I didn't know nothing about that. I didn't know what that was. I don't do that. Then Ashley asked her, has it ever been done to you? And Karen said, mind your damn business, which probably means yes. So then we move to Mia, right? So Nicki asked Mia about her issues with her mother, and says that she did love seeing her have a conversation with her mom, and that does it hurt her when her mother makes negative comments and negative statements about her father. And Mia says, yes, it does hurt her. And she says, has you ever told her that? And she said, well, she's only thinking about her hurt and how badly it hurt her. And Mia says, because she only saw the positive in her father, that it's kind of a weird conflict in her head to understand that he hurt her mother so much, but that he was so good to her. And then Nicki was like, well, you should tell her that she doesn't need to hurt you by talking bad about your father. And then Mia says that she understands that, you know, she's hurting and she's healing and all that. And Nicki says, well, yes, but she shouldn't hurt you in the process of her healing, and that you need to make sure you let her know, so that we can show that women can heal, mothers and daughters can heal their relationships, which I do think is true. And I think that was actually really good advice. Mia said that, well, her mother is at her house currently with the baby because she loves her, and that she is putting in the efforts. Nicki says she's happy to hear that, so that's all good, right? So then she asks what kind of freaky stuff that she be doing with her husband, and Mia said, you know, we be doing some stuff, because y'all know they have, she says, is it like threesomes and stuff? And she says that yes, that she wouldn't have a problem with that, and that her husband likes Becky's. Wendy's like, yeah, and he likes to see you get done in front of other people. And she's like, whatever, mind your business. And it's just very, like, nothing I would ever be interested in. Yuck. So then Nicki asked Mia that, did she see how ridiculous she sounded by saying that a strip club isn't a strip club if they serve steak and lobster, basically? And that's what Mia said. And first of all, girl, it's a strip club. It's just still, y'all still take your clothes off for money, even if they're serving steak, even if they're serving wings. It's the same strip club. It's just like the meal doesn't matter. Even if she would have said exotic dancer, okay, you're not an entertainer, okay? You and what people are doing at concerts on stage is not the same thing. You're taking your clothes off for money. If you were just standing there entertaining them without removing clothing, they wouldn't be in that strip club. Like, it's called a strip club for a reason, ma'am. It's not called an entertainment club. So, and she said she was sticking up for women who would call themselves entertainers and they wouldn't call themselves strippers. And Nicki said, girl, I know you were not trying to make this a women empowerment. And she said, yes, I am, because, you know. So no, we're not buying that. So then she asks Mia, Karen, and Ashley, because they are all married to significantly older men, older wealthy men, and says that if y'all had your own $100 million, would you still be married to your man? Like, would you have married them, right? So she asked Ashley first. So Ashley says if she had $100 million at the time that she met Michael, probably not. And she said, mm-hmm. And she says, well, I was 22. I was a bartender. We met when I was a bartender. And she said that, you know, but I was attracted to him. And Nicki said, what were you attracted to? Just, I mean, you know, but... And she says, oh, he has a smart, witty humor, and I'm physically attracted to him, and he just makes me laugh, and he just, you know, all the things or whatever. And yeah, it was like, okay, girl, So then she asks Karen, and Karen says, Karen has a great answer, and I knew this. I could see that Karen and Ray adore each other. So Karen basically says that the 100 million would have been nice, but I need Ray. She said, I have to have Ray. I said, ooh, yes, Gronzo. Right? She said, I have to have Ray because when I met him, he moved my soul. Ooh. And Candace was like, ooh, that gave me goosebumps. I was like, girl, me too. You better come on, Gronzo. And she said, he's my person. And they showed old pictures of them, and it was really cute. And Nicki said, okay. And she said, but yeah, I wouldn't marry no broke man now. I wasn't gonna be marrying no broke man, but absolutely yes. Like, I have to have Ray, right? Then they asked me, first Mia says, how you know I don't have $100 million now? Nicki says, I know you don't. She says, I know for a fact you do not. And so then she says, Mia laughs it off. And she said, yeah, I would, girl, no. Nobody believes me. Everyone's like, girl, bye. She was like, I would still be a stripper now. You know, and she said, so why aren't you? Why aren't you, girl? And she said, I thought about it messing with these hoes. So then Nicki addresses Mia. Does it make you feel good or feed your ego that somebody else's husband finds you sexually attractive? And she said, because you making the comment that Wendy's husband couldn't even look you in the eye, as basically implying that he was just so shook by your beauty that he couldn't even make eye contact with you, and you feeding off of that when you're a married woman. And she said that, well, my husband didn't care about it, so why should he care about it? And that she just felt like Wendy is the kind of woman that's so controlling over her man and didn't want him to look at nobody and think about nobody and anything like that, and why she trying to control him like that. And Wendy said, I'm not trying to control him. And Nicki said that, yes, I feel like Wendy kind of played herself by showing insecurity. And Wendy says, hey, you played yourself because you're over there talking about you want to be sexually attractive to a married man when you're a married woman. And she said, but my husband ain't thinking about it, so why are you worried about it? And then Wendy says, your husband also doesn't care if people have sex with you in front of him. I swear. Well, okay. All right. We're in the thick of it. Oh, I love Wendy. Shout out Ninja. You know the vibes. You know the vibes. You know we don't take nonsense. We're not doing that. We're not having that. So then Nicki asked Wendy, so it did come out, or allegedly, that your husband was following some booty models, and you know, you're such an educated woman and an intelligent woman and speak politically and all of those things. And then this season you came back and had your boobs done and your butt done. It was very, very sexual and dropping like a side of the whole thing. And people felt like, are you doing that because your husband was eyeing some booty models and you wanted to try to like compete with them and keep up with them? And she said, no, I did it for me. And you know, that's not why I did it. And that the little bit of butt that I got is nice, but it doesn't compare to those booty models. So it wouldn't matter anyway. And then she says, well, he was following some booty models and then he unfollowed them afterwards. And they tried to show some screenshots of it, y'all. And she said, no, that is not true. These blogs lie. Oh, so I'm not gonna lie. The way she said it kind of seemed like she was trying to cover up. But it's okay. We move, sis. We move. You don't let them see you sweat. Don't let them see you. Right? So then she was like, I don't know who he follows. And I don't know, I don't care. Right? I don't know if I buy it, but it's fine. Whatever, girl. Protect your man. Protect your marriage. It's whatever. Nicki says that it seems like Candace's mother is so willing to destroy her husband on TV for television purposes, basically. And Candace kind of starts to get teary, and she says, yes, that, she's talked to her mother about it, and she was mortified and that it has caused a problem in her marriage. And Nicki's like, what have you said to your mother about the things that she does? Candace says that, well, she did check her after she saw the episode and absolutely got her together. And then Nicki's like, well, what checking did you do? Because she says that, well, I don't want to disrespect my mother on TV. Giselle is like, well, she disrespected your husband. And then Nicki's like, look, she said, your mother said that she would be okay with you getting a divorce from your husband if you had children just for TV, kiki, ha 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 purposes. Like, how is that okay? And Candace says, well, it is not. And that she doesn't receive the information coming from her, but that she'll receive it coming from Nicki. And Candace's mom has had this. I really don't understand these mothers that go on TV or even in real life and like just destroy their children's spouses. Like, you're hurting your own child, and it's just absolutely ridiculous and childish and very juvenile. So Nicki is like, if you don't stop her, like, she's going to continue to do it. Once she does it once, she's going to do it again. And she says that, okay, so what should I do? And Karen says that she pulled her mother to the side and said that if she keeps having a pissing match with Candace's husband, that she's going to lose her daughter, and that she needs to get that together and figure it out, right? You know, Candace basically says that it's not that easy. So then Nicki asks Candace about, you know, her song and says that she really loves her single that she had. How did everybody else feel about the single, and did they think that it would do well, or on a scale of 1 to 10? She asks Mia, and Mia says -2, and Candace says from a place of hateration, right? And Karen says, she says a 9, that, you know, she felt like Karen, you know, she could sing, and that she always felt like, you know, it was a great effort. And Nicki said, I didn't ask about effort now. She said on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being platinum and 1 being a flop, what did you think it would do? And Karen said she thought it would at least do a 5 because she's very talented. Wendy says that she's charted on Billboard, like she's on the R&B Billboard charts, and she says, really? She says, yeah, she's number 24 on the R&B Billboard chart, she's number 4 on iTunes, and that it's doing very well. So basically everybody kind of, you know, and then Wendy says that she charted on the R&B Billboard charts, and Nicki says, really? Now I'm not gonna lie, the way Nicki was was kind of shady. It was kind of like, oh, did it? Like, it was a little, you know. And Nicki did tweet that she did like the song though prior to her being there, so she did say she liked the song, and the song is a little bop, you know, it's cute. And then she says that, you know, how many albums did she sell? Like, did she sell, you know, does she know how many copies were sold? Candace says, oh, yeah, 500,000, and she says, oh no, wait a minute now, how many albums, not singles, when the album came out, how many of the albums? She said, okay, let me get those numbers. Girl, she gets the numbers and she says 20,200 and some, and it came out 2 months ago. And she said, that's good for like a new artist, a new independent artist, that's good. And Nicki's over there looking like, so yeah, it was a little shady. I ain't gonna lie, it was a little shady. So then she says that, okay, let's go to your new video. So they go to the new video, the new song, and it's cute, whatever. She's in the water with, you know, flesh colored drawers on, and it's cute, whatever. So then Nicki is like, well, I do like your voice. She says, if I was a owner of a record label, and I am, what would be your selling point for me to want to sign you? And Candace says, my singing ability, because I've been singing my whole life, more than my performance, more than my dancing or whatever. It would be my singing ability. And he says, your singing ability? And she says, yeah. She said, okay. So then she says, so there's been a lot of auto-tune on your song, the song, I think, Drive Back. And Candace says, yeah, there's been a lot of auto-tune for, you know, creative purposes or whatever. And she says, so we need to hear something a cappella, child. Yeah, so she's like, I want to hear something a cappella. So Candace is like stuck. And I feel like she's stuck because she didn't come there for that. Like, they don't come to these reunions to showcase their talent in that way. So I know she did not expect to be singing like on the spot. I mean, you stay ready, so you ain't got to get ready, but they've been there for several hours, and it's like, it's not like they were warming up voices and the whole thing. So I understand, like, somebody who sings, I'm not a singer, but like I sing in my choir and the whole thing, and asking someone to sing at the drop of, like, you need like warm up vocals and all of, see, everyone's like, just do it, man. It's like, what's the hesitation? I mean, yeah, just do it. And Nicki's like, I just want to hear a line or two. I just want to hear, you know. So Candace is like, can I just sing a gospel song? Like, I don't want to sing. I don't want to. And Giselle was like, no, sing your stuff. Like, sing your song. So finally, y'all, she sings the song, and her husband's over there glaring, and Andy's looking and waiting. She actually does really well singing the song, and they're like, see, okay. Nicki doing all of this while she's singing, and everybody's snapping, and like, I think it was good for her. I think although she was put on the spot, although it might have been like nerve-wracking and a lot, and you know, it could have went left if she didn't sound good, but she sounded great. Like, she sounded like the record, so it was good. Basically, that is it, y'all. Then her husband comes out after they go to like a little break, and he's pissed off by the line of questioning, which I'm like, I don't understand what line of questioning he was pissed off by. Maybe the singing stuff, I guess, but it's like, I mean, she's a singer. It's Nicki Minaj. Like, she's gonna ask her about music. It's good she asked her about music and not just about the drama and frivolous stuff. It's good she mentioned both of the singles. It's good that she like, that's good for her. So he needs to like simmer down. And Andy was like, you brought the roof down. You did great, and that was difficult, but you did it, and you sounded great. And it's like, yes, like it was a good thing for her. That is where they wrap, you guys. Let me know how you feel about it, y'all. Did y'all feel like Nicki was too shady? Do you feel like she was spot on? I feel like she asked the questions that we wanted to know. We the people wanted to know, okay? Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the post notification bell so you'll be notified when I post another recap video. I will be recapping the challenge, and I'll get back to you with some more hot topics as well. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.